Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's webinar. This is Sandy McClure out of Creede, Colorado, but tonight I'm actually in Colorado Springs. I'm just kind of all over, and that's the beauty of what I do. I can work from wherever I go, no matter where I'm at in the world. I'd just like to welcome you tonight from wherever you are, and just thank you very much for taking time out of your night. We know that you have a lot of really important things going on, but trust me, this is really important what you're going to hear tonight. For those of you who know me from Advocare, know that I've always been in the health and wellness realm, even when I was a teacher. And so for 7 years, I've been sharing that. I really wasn't looking for anything else. I loved how I feel, didn't know I could feel any better. But my friend Denise said it best. She said, you know, good is nutrition and exercise and sleep. Better is supplementing that to fill in the nutritional gaps, which is what I did with Advocare for 7 years and really felt great. But best is putting all of them together with activation. And I had no idea there was even an opportunity to do that until my friend Vince reached out to me. And I want you all to know that I just want you to have an open mind tonight. You know me, if you know me at all, you know that I'm not going to put my stamp on just anything. And I was afforded the opportunity to look at some of these products. Some of these products we didn't have. So what I was looking at was the hair care and the skin care. Look at me, I feel like I look great. And the pet care, because that's something I knew we didn't have, but it was the other ones that have absolutely changed my life. And so I had the opportunity to go to Long Beach, California last week. And I ran into Maria at the airport. I first got to see her share on stage, and it was phenomenal. What I loved about this is it's just really good people who have a servant heart, something I can connect with, who are really looking to not only advance their health, but those people that they love and care about. And so Maria's from Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm not going to steal her thunder. She's just done so many great things. She's got an amazing story, and I know that's what all of you want to hear tonight. She's going to weave her story into some introduction of products. And, you know, she's got an amazing family, and she is, you know, that is her purpose, but her story is what's really going to resonate with you. And I'm going to go ahead and let Maria take it from here. Maria?
Thank you so much, Sandy. It was, you know, I think divine intervention meeting you, because I think we just clicked instantly. And, you know, knowing what you came through with cancer and not having the opportunity to have these products in your body, but now seeing what it's doing for you is just incredible. You know, I was fortunate enough, and so my story is I grew up in Massachusetts, and I was human resource manager for over 20 some years in the manufacturing industry. I worked in a very toxic manufacturing plant, a foundry for, you know, almost 20 years. And unfortunately, those toxins in my body. Around 2007, my blood work was a little off. And so my doctor wanted me to go see a hematologist, oncologist, just to kind of see what was going on, because I wasn't anemic. I was, you know, it just wasn't normal. And she was just, you know, concerned. I wasn't feeling anything particular. I didn't have, you know, any pain or anything. I was just tired and run down. And I thought, well, you're getting old. That's kind of what happens, right? And I had 2 boys and chasing them everywhere. At that time, they were probably 7 and 9. So I went to a hematologist, and he told me she was going to check to see how my blood was being formed. Okay, so did a bone marrow biopsy, and then when I went to get the results, she said, "Oh, you don't have leukemia." And I'm like, "What? Wait a minute! You didn't even tell me you were checking for leukemia." Like, so it just really shocked me. She said, "Yeah, that's, you know, we check for leukemia. That's how we see how your blood is forming." So that kind of, you know, really honestly made me mad. Because if you're going to check for something, like, prepare me, like, tell me this is what we're concerned about. And so she said, "We'll come back so we can see what's going on," you know, and I didn't. And then 2008 came along, and you know how, you know, the economy was bad. So, but that started my Healthy Quest journey, where I was like, okay, if something's going on in my body, I am going to eat healthier. What can I do? I started taking a bunch of antioxidants because those were supposed to be good for you. So I started my health journey. But then 2008 came, and where bad economy, my husband was in the insurance industry, worked in Boston, and one day boss comes in and it's all gone. And it's kind of devastating when that happens in your life. So he had to find something else, and he found something here in Arizona. And so that's why we moved here in 2009. But when we moved, I told him that I wasn't going to work because I was super stressed out at work. And I knew I was stressed out. And I knew that was probably part of maybe what's going on in my body. I'm stressed out. And I worked 50, 60, 70 hours a week. When anything happened on that plant, it was a 24-shift plant. When anything happened, I was called in. Didn't matter what happened. HR always has to go in and save the day. So then he said, fine, not a problem. So we moved, and I was home for about a year. And, you know, I knew I needed to do something. I wanted to go back home and visit my family. I wanted to have some extra income. You know, it's difficult going from 2 to 1 income. So I was praying and looking for something. I didn't know what, but I was just, you know, I know what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to go back to having my life, you know, owned by corporate America and never having any time for my family and my kids. And I wanted to be that stay-at-home mom for the first time. So my neighbor came over and with her 2 boys for our boys to play in my pool. And she said, hey, I want you to watch this ABC investigative report. And I said, sure. And that blew my mind. Now, I know Sandy has sent it out. If you have not seen that ABC investigative report, I urge you to get back with Sandy and watch it. Here's why it's important, because when ABC at that time, that investigative report, you know, now we have Dateline, I think is still around. But those news reports come in to debunk stuff. They don't come in to do a commercial for your company. They're trying to see, well, let's see if this is real or not. And what was interesting was the reason they came in was because they had seen on Wall Street Journal, this scientific breakthrough had been featured on Wall Street Journal by the scientists that had made this discovery. And so, and I think a lot of the people in the office started taking it, and they went to the producers and said, hey, we really need to go check this out. So they went in, John Quinones goes in, does the investigative report, and he cannot debunk it. Actually, as a company, we say that your oxidative stress can be reduced by 40% in 30 days. And John Quinones' blood came back 45% reduction in oxidative stress in 14 days, in 2 weeks. That's crazy. So that report, I saw that and I was like, whoa, because I thought I knew all about antioxidants and free radicals, right? So when you have a lot of free radicals, that's just oxidative stress in your body. I didn't even know what those terms meant. But I saw that and I'm like, I need to get this inside of my body. And that's what I did. I got on these products. I started to get my energy back. I felt amazing. I had little things going on, migraines over time. It took about a year because I used to get 2 to 3 migraines a month. And then over time, those started to, you know, go away. And now, I can't tell you the last time I had a migraine. I have to tell you that this is not intended to cure, treat, or prevent anything. What our products do is they activate your body to get back into balance and to heal themselves. It is your body that is in control. It's taking it in, and then it's your body that's figuring out what needs to be healed and going in and doing the healing. So migraines went away, little aches and pains. I had an inflamed sciatic nerve, always had a hip pain, that went away, and I had tried everything for this hip. Acupuncture, Rolfing, massage therapy, you name it. And all these things started happening. So I'm on the product now till around 2015. And my current doctor here says, you know, your blood work is better, but it's not totally normal. And she knew my cancer scare in 2007. She said, you know, why don't you go back and get it rechecked? And I said, sure, I'll go back and get it rechecked. So I go back, so I go to a hematologist here, does bone marrow biopsy again. And he says, but this time going in, he said, you got something going on. Let's see from the preliminary stuff. Let's do the bone marrow and really see what it is. So then what he diagnosed me was with multiple myeloma, which is a different type of blood cancer. Normally, elderly people get it, 70 plus that gets it. when you're young, getting it, then something triggered it. And you know, I think in my heart is where I worked, you know, unfortunately the toxins that I was exposed to. And so he says to me, it's incurable, in an average of 4 to 5 years to live. And I went, whoa, wait a minute. If I had this in 2007, we're in, I think it was 2014 or 15. I probably should look it up. I'm like, whoa, but I feel amazing. I know my body. I feel way better than I did all those years back. Like, I feel like I'm in my 20s. I'm feeling great. And he's like, well, you do look good, right? And, you know, he told me all about the chemo treatments. And I said, hold on, stop. I said, what if I do nothing? What's going to happen? And he said, well, your numbers are low. And if you can keep them low, then we'll hold off on the chemo. That was in 2014. We're in 2019. My numbers have been low and have been kept there. I mean, I feel that I'm getting goosebumps again. Finding out about this product when I did, I think it has saved my life. I think it's detoxified this toxin out of my body. And I think, you know, it's been amazing. So I'm going to share with you my screen and explain to you the science behind it and how it works, so you can kind of understand what we have our hands on and why it's so significant, because I think then you'll understand how this can do this in someone's body. And I know, Sandy, you probably tell them at the end, but you know, you've gone through your cancer and the chemo, but you're already seeing the results of the residual effects of the chemo, how this is helping your body. And we hear that over and over again all the time. It's pretty remarkable. So let me share my screen here. And yep, we're going to talk about biohacking your body, and biohacking your body is a good thing. Here's my family, my 2 boys now. They're not 9 and 11 anymore when I got involved with this company 9 years ago. They're 19 and 21, almost 22 and 20. I have a swimmer and a football player. And these boys have been on these products, let me tell you, since they were 9 and 11. This is how they know their body. You know, so they were healthy boys, but I got them on it because they're both athletes. And you know, with athletes, the wear and tear on the body. And, you know, these kids, you know, are just, I think muscle recovery has been much faster for them. My football player has had 2 concussions and the recovery was so much faster. And I know that it's protecting his brain from, you know, anything in the future. And we, you know, as a family, we've just embraced these products. So we're going to talk about the biohacking, the 3 theories of aging through nutrigenomics. So nutrigenomics is the is nutrition for your genes. It was featured on the Today Show 2 years ago. They had a special feature on nutrigenomics and how the right nutrition, the study of the interaction of nutrients with your body, can help prevent and treat diseases. I was jumping up and down because I'm like, that's our company. We're a nutrigenomic company. That's what we're all about. We've figured out how to create and develop these nutrients the right way, that it's affecting our body. It's activating our body to heal. So our first theory of aging, so the 3 theories of aging are oxidative stress, mitochondrial dysfunction, and NAD. The first one is reducing oxidative stress through NRF2 activation. Here's how significant this NRF2 activation is. This was from Washington State University, and they said NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. And what's exciting is that we have the most potent NRF2 activator. As far as we know, everything we've checked and tested, we've seen no one that can produce results showing that their NRF2 activator can reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. So we have the most potent in the world, and we have patents to protect this product. So nobody can copy what we have our hands on. So you're not going to go to Walmart and find Wall Tandem there, right? A copy of it that doesn't even work, you know, one third of the effectiveness of what we have our hands on. Now, why is this all important? It all comes back to oxidative stress. So I didn't even know what oxidative stress was. I knew what free radicals were. So if you know what free radicals are, when you have an abundance of free radicals in your body and it starts to damage the cells, the DNA, your genes, and it turns into disease, That's oxidative stress. It's just really more the medical term that they use. So think of rust. I'm going to use a car as an analogy for these 3 theories of aging. The first one, rust on a car and an engine, right? If a car, rust isn't good, nothing's going to run. If the car's rusty and old, it ain't going to run. Just like an apple, if you cut an apple and you put it out on the counter, it's going to brown. That's exactly the same thing that happens inside your cells. It's the same chemical reaction that happens inside our cells from our environment, right? The pesticides, herbicides, the pollution, everything around us. That's why diseases, if you pay attention, diseases are on the rise. They're not coming down. Every year, there's more people with all these different diseases. Diabetes, cancer, and heart disease, the top 3 killers in the US, year after year after year, they're on the rise. So we need to take our health into our own hands. The prevention is the key to this. And I think from what I've learned in 9 years, oxidative stress is the key to that prevention. Why? Because oxidative stress is linked to almost every disease that's out there. If you look at that pinwheel there, everything that's out there, and don't trust a word I say, because that's what I love about this is show me the facts, right? Where are the facts? So you can go to the National Institute of Health's website. That's your tax dollars that are paying for this website to be there. And this is where peer-reviewed research is published. So the website is pubmed.gov, or you can go to Google Scholar. Just don't go to Google, go to Google Scholar. That's where studies are published. You want to look at real studies, not bloggers and not someone that has an opinion about something. You want to go look at the real research. When I got started 9 years ago, I looked up oxidative stress, and the first thing I looked up was oxidative stress and diabetes, because both my parents, I didn't even, at that time, remember, I didn't even know I had cancer in my body, so I didn't even think of cancer. I looked up oxidative stress and diabetes because both my parents, at that time, they were 68 years old, they were both diabetics. My dad had been a diabetic for 6 years, my mom a diabetic for over 30 some years. I didn't want to become a diabetic. And I wanted to get them on this product. There was 6,000 studies at that time. Today, if you go look up oxidative stress and diabetes, there's over 16,000 studies. You can look it up with most of those diseases that are on this pinwheel and anything that runs in your family, any concerns you have about anything. And oxidative stress, there's at least one study out there, and it's linked to these diseases. But if you can lower that oxidative stress, let your body be in control, let your body be in balance, that is where the magic happens, because your body is the magic, right? Your body knows how to heal itself. So that's why you should care about this oxidative stress. So if you leave here today and you do one thing, just go look up oxidative stress. Go see how bad it is, how real it is, and why you need to reduce it in your body. So that ABC airs in 2005. We're a publicly traded company. We were retail at that time, and what is really significant about that ABC primetime is the coverage that we got. We've been on ABC, Today Show, PBS, the Wall Street Journal, but the best thing that happened was the research that started, because that one time that ABC aired, we got $5 million of orders came in overnight. Now this company was doing 4 to 5 million a year, so of course they couldn't handle all those orders, but researchers saw this, knew that the research they were doing on different diseases was linked to oxidative stress. So they wanted to see, well, we don't have anything in our toolbox to lower oxidative stress. So let's see if we lower it by that amount, what difference will it make in the body? So interesting is that we lower it by 40% in 30 days, but with continued use on this product, we can lower the oxidative stress. So we have studies from LSU, melanoma, skin cancer, the worst type of skin cancer to get. 3 studies showing that it can reduce the tumors and the multiplicity. American Heart Association, we're published in the American Heart Association Circulation Journal by a study done by Virginia Commonwealth. That's the first time ever that American Heart Association was able to publish a study on a nutraceutical, not a drug, not a device, but a nutraceutical got published, and it was ours. Ohio State University has done research, you can see all the names that are there. Even the National Institute of Aging. did a 10-year study. They've been studying how to extend human lifespan. They've studied thousands and thousands of supplements, okay, thousands and thousands of nutraceuticals. Not one has shown that it could extend lifespan until our product. Our product was the only one of thousands and thousands in a 10-year study that shows that it could extend the lifespan of a human. Pretty incredible. Pharmaceutical companies have caught on and they're developing drugs. So let me just tell you, if a pharmaceutical company is trying to develop a drug that's a nerve-2 activator, they know that there's something there, right? They're going to get in the game because they know the power of having a medical breakthrough on their hands, basically. So here's one. There's only 2 drugs on the market that are nerve-2 activators. One is for MS and one is for ALS. If you know anything about MS, 1 out of 4 women are getting MS. It's on the rise. It's crazy, and they don't even know why it's on the rise. But this pharmaceutical company did a head-to-head study and wanted to see, how effective our nerve-2 activator was compared to their drug. And look at what it says here. Interestingly, Protandim, a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients, was I can't even read this thing to me. Was the most potent inducer and therefore may be the most suited as a therapeutic strategy. So this pharmaceutical company is basically saying Protandim is more potent activator, nerve-2 activator, than their drug that's on the market today. And it started selling for $50,000 a year, this drug. And it has horrible side effects. I've known some people that have been on it and they've had horrible side effects because it's not natural, right? It's a chemical you're putting in your body. You're trying to induce this nerve-2 activation chemically, and you have to shut it down because you don't want to have too much nerve-2 activation. It's all about balance. And that's what I love about this product. It's 5 natural herbal ingredients that are in it. And it turns on your body's own antioxidant enzymes like catalase, glutathione, SOD. So those that are familiar with antioxidants, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. 1 molecule of an antioxidant will neutralize 1 free radical and your body eliminates it. Activation is like the smartphone, right? Antioxidants are the flip phone. I like to say an antioxidant activation is the smartphone. You are turning on those enzymes, and those enzymes can neutralize 1 million free radicals per second every second of the day. Now, pretty common sense, I think, 1-to-1 or 1,000,000-to-1. I'd rather take the 1,000,000-to-1 and knock off as much of the oxidative stress in my body as I can. So here's our signature product, the first theory of aging, nerve-2 activation. I just want to point out on this slide, NSF and BSCG are 2 organizations that certify products for athletes. So we're certified by 2 different organizations. So professional athletes can take this product. There's no performance enhancing drugs in it or anything. There's millions of supplements, honestly. And there's only 40 on the BSCG list that athletes can take. And we're one of those 40. That's pretty significant. I always like to brag about that. The second theory of aging is the mitochondria, right? Your mitochondria is the engine. So back to the car, the rust, the oxidative stress, the engine is the mitochondria, the mighty mitochondria we studied back in, biology in school. It's what takes your food and converts it into ATP. When your mitochondria is not functioning properly, or when it does not die like it's supposed to, and then another one you get another one that regenerates, that leads to cancers, they're finding, and to many diseases. Diabetes, cancers, and heart disease, again, are associated with mitochondria dysfunction, and a lot of neurological diseases. So we developed the second theory of aging was an NRF1 activation, and that is where it repairs the mitochondria and makes more mitochondria. People have been reporting better sleep, it slows that cellular aging, better sleep, and more energy is what people feel. For me, so I had been on Protandim probably, 4 years before this product came out, and my blood work had stayed pretty stable. When I got on this product though, I had just done blood work and then I got on the product. So I knew nothing else had changed and I didn't add anything, didn't change anything else. When I went back 3 months later to do my blood work, my urine test came back normal, because when you have this type of disease, it makes too much protein and that protein spills into your urine. So they test it to make sure you're not going into kidney failure, because you could go into kidney failure. And funny that my doctor said, oh, your white cell blood count is very low. You have to be careful of infections and, you know, being around people and getting, you know, colds and flus. I don't get any of that. And I told him, I said, I don't get any of that. I have no infections and my kidney function is totally normal. My urine test came back normal. And so I asked the doctor, I said, have you ever seen that happen when it improves that much? Like it was totally normal. He says, no, I've never seen it. And I said, well, I got on this new product that our company developed, told him all about it. And he said, well, let's check in 3 months. And I said, okay, here we go. 3 months later, normal. Here we are, 2019, normal. So something improved in my body. I don't know what, but it may not seem like a lot, but it is a lot when your test results can improve on this. Now we just launched the third theory of aging, which is NAD Synergizer, the NAD pathway. NAD is a molecule in your body. And without NAD, according to Dr. David Sinclair from Harvard, he says when you run out of NAD, when your body doesn't have any more, within 30 seconds, you're dead. That's pretty substantial. And he says, as you age, your NAD production goes down. And these are all the wonderful benefits of things it can give you: mental clarity, focus. It is BSCG approved. So I'm going to get my boys on that because of the BSCG and being in college athletes, you know, need to make sure that they get on that. But here's where they found this. If you ever have fasted for many days, not intermittent fasting, but fasted for many days, there's something that happens like on the 3rd or the 5th day. I fasted once that I went, you know, 3, 5 days. I don't know how many days I did, but I remember on the 3rd day, the first 2 days, I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. I just want food. But then the 3rd day, it was like, boom, like I got this energy and this mental clarity and I felt amazing. I'm like, oh, I can go days without eating. I mean, the hunger went away. Well, what was happening was your body was making 94% increasing the production of NAD synergizers. And our product increases NAD in 24 hours by 100%. And we've checked a couple of products that are out on the market, our competitors, and they can only increase NAD production by 2%. That is significant. And why is this important? Because when you increase NAD, when you open up that NAD pathway, what it does, it increases the sirtuin activity. Sirtuins are proteins in your body, and these proteins control a lot of things in your body. I'm not a medical professional, so I'm going to put it that way. Think of now in the car, let's go back to the car. We got the rust, we got the engine we need running good, get rid of the rust, get the engine running good. Now we need to get the computer in the car, right? That controls the windows that go up and down, the seats that go back and forth, controls all the electrical systems, right? Everything else in the car, the navigation, everything you've got on there. That is what this sirtuin activity does. It gets all these proteins activated, upregulated, downregulated, working the way they're supposed to. What I love about this product is that people are feeling something within a couple of days. Within 3 to 5 days, we're hearing more energy, mental clarity, of focus, and we've had a couple of people that like their eyesight has improved. It's known to help with just so many things in the body. And there's a lot of research out there on NAD. So we are super excited about this. What just came out that we're even more excited about was a study with all 3 of them together, because we had no clue. What's it going to do? Is it going to make any difference to the NRF2 pathway, to the NRF1 pathway? Well, what we know is that, yes, the Tri-Synergizer, these 3 products together, increase the production of NRF2 by 83%, increase the production of NRF1 by 38%, and it increases the NAD production by 967%. That's insane. I want to take you back to a slide here where it says NRF2 gene HMOX1, healthy inflammatory response. This is a gene that controls inflammation in your body. You want this gene activated because it lowers inflammation. On these 3 products, this gene was increased, well, just on NRF2, this gene was increased by 78%. Altogether, it's increased by 848%. That's 1,563% increase in this gene to reduce inflammation. Know anybody with arthritis, oh God, I can't even think of the word I'm trying to say. Rheumatoid arthritis, that's what I'm trying to say. All of those inflammatory autoimmune diseases, people are loaded with inflammation. Look at what can happen putting the 3 of them together. So all I can tell you is stay tuned. Now I go to a naturopath oncologist. I finally got smart a couple of years ago and found a naturopath oncologist who understands me. And she told me, you know, these products have saved your life. There's no doubt in her mind. And I told her, well, we got a new product coming out, NAD. And she said, what, NAD? I was just looking at an IV treatment with NAD for my aunt who's an alcoholic. NAD is very effective with addiction. And so we were looking at this treatment, but the problem is it costs $10,000 for this IV treatment with NAD. I said, well, ours increases the sirtuin activity 100% in 24 hours. She's like, I'm all in, give me the product. So I've got 3 bottles. She's getting her aunt on it, herself on it. And it's just incredible. So she said, let's do your blood work and let's see in 3 months where your blood work is at. So stay tuned to see the next chapter of the NAD and the Tri-Synergizers. I have a lot of faith and know that this is going to be huge. So we've bundled some of our products. And so before the NAD, we had bundled NRF2, NRF1, an omega, and a probiotic because, you know, omegas are super important and probiotics are super important. And we got the Stevia Award for this product. It's for nutraceutical and pharmaceutical companies with either supplements or devices. The gold and the silver were devices. So we got the bronze, the only one that year, for lumping these together. We have other bundles now, and I know they're coming out with a NRF2, NRF1, and an NAD Synergizer. Love those little packages for my boys that are in college. They're like, thank you, Mom, because opening up one bottle, another bottle, they just rip up everything open in the morning and take it down. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but when we develop other products or anything, we want to be the cutting edge in the market. And that's what we did with our probiotic. What makes it different is normally probiotics, only 4% gets into your gut. With our probiotic, has a special coating, BioTrax, over 60% gets into your gut. And it has Wellmune, which is a prebiotic already in it. Omega, what makes ours different, it's an omega plus vitamin D in it. So you don't have to take vitamin D separate, and it absorbs a lot better with an omega. It's omega 3 and 7. You do not need omega 6s because we get enough from our diets, from everything that, you know, that we normally eat. Then we developed Axio Brain Food. Once again, energy, mental health, clarity. We've seen a lot of good results with kids with autism, ADHD, and ADD because of focus and clarity. This is a little boy, 10-year-old, before Protandim and Axio. Look at his handwriting. And then only 2 weeks on Protandim and Axio, the NRF2. Look at the handwriting, the difference. It's just incredible. We have a neuroscientist on my team, and he does brain maps. And he said, you know what? Found out about these products. He says, I'm going to put one of his patients, a 15-year-old boy with ADHD. On the left, you can see the brain map. The red and the squiggly lines are not good. On the right, 12 days after, only 12 days of taking this product, the results of how his brain scan had brain mapping had improved. But the best part is that we also have the anecdotal evidence because his grades have improved, and he's been on it now for a year. He's gone from C's and D's to A's and B's. The teacher said his mood was better, his attitude was better, he's doing his homework, and he says it feels like his brain got turned on, that someone turned on a switch and he could focus, he could think. It was all making sense in his brain. That's huge, and to be able to get off of medications too, right? So we took the NRF2 activation and we put him into a couple of other products. We put them into skincare for the fine lines and wrinkles, right? We all want to look younger. This was the only other product. When we started, we had NRF2 and the anti-aging cream. We didn't even have the facial cleanser and all that. All we had was the anti-aging cream, and I've been using that for 9 years on my face. That is it. If you download the app Think Dirty and you put in True Science, our products are rated 0, 1, and 2. 0 on that app is like coconut oil, totally natural, to 12 is cancerous. You don't want it anywhere near your body. Our products are 0, 1, and 2. We developed a shampoo to help with, the fine, hair falling out and thinning and all of that. We have a weight management system, a clean protein, a fat burner, and more prebiotic for your gut. And then also Petandem. People started giving the original Protandim to their dogs, horses, cats. They started seeing results because dogs, for example, run 7 to 10 times higher in oxidative stress. Thus, their lifespan is shorter. Makes sense. And you can go on YouTube and type in Protandim in horses and dogs. There's some amazing videos of before and after. And there's no placebo effect, right? With the dog, you get them on it. My dogs think it's a tree and they're happy as anything, and it's protecting their little bodies. So this is our, how to get started. Here's our product. So if any of this resonates with you, please get back to, Sandy, whoever invited you on the webinar tonight. And, you can totally be, buy the products individually, buy them lumped together. We do have 3 different packages that you can get. When I got started, I had no idea what I was going to do with the business. It's $50 to become a distributor, and then you pick a pack. I picked the biggest pack that was there. This particular pack, Platinum Pack, is a 30% savings. So I wanted to save money, and I wanted to get my family on it and be on it for 3 to 4 months to see what happens, right? And so those are the different ways, that you can get started and get on the product. I'm going to end here with, this is my favorite study from Oregon State University. When it finds a problem, NRF2 essentially goes back to the cellular nucleus and rings the alarm bell, where it can turn on up to 200 genes that are responsible for cell repair, detoxification of carcinogens. This is why I know this is good for anyone with cancer, any disease, because it's going to detoxify your body. Protein and lipid metabolism, antioxidant protection, and other actions. In their report, the scientists called it the longevity assurance factor. So thank you, Sandy, for letting me get on and share my story and, and just share the information about what this does and what it's all about. And I hope that even one person out there gets blessed by this information and it can change their lives.
Well, Maria, I know that you have you've added value to my life tonight, just in the short time that I've been on here. One thing that I appreciate you sharing your story and giving your personal experience, not only of you, but other people. And I think that's one thing that really, I had a hard time believing all of that. I couldn't believe that. And here's the thing, what I really couldn't believe is no one had ever shared this with me. And I said, I went through cancer, and I know there's people out there that are on these products probably that know about this. Well, my sponsor for one, but I didn't hear about it until May of this year. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to be that girl who lets that go by, because what I have come to know, I feel like I need to share with every person I know. And even what you've shared with me today about my 2-week-old granddaughter and how she could benefit from these products, and some of the stories that you told me. I just can't hardly wrap my mind around what we have here. And when I was sitting in that chemotherapy chair and I was getting my infusion, I really truly, because my dad died of cancer too, and his death was terrible. I thought there has to be a better way. And I keep going back to, I can remember the day vividly when I thought there has got to be a better way. And I think we found it. And so, yes, I am extremely passionate about it. I want everybody to minimally get on the Tri-Synergizer, which is the 3 Protanums to begin with. But I will tell you, I was like, Maria, I just said, well, I just want to order all the products because I wanted to try them. And there's not one that I have not benefited from. So someone brought you here to this webinar tonight. And weren't you blessed by hearing Maria's story? And you can just tell, you know, it doesn't matter to her whether you do it or not. She's doing it, whether you do or not. So am I. But we feel that we owe it to everyone to share what we know. So get back with the person who brought you here tonight. Have a conversation with them. Sit down and decide what it is that you want to do, and they'll walk you through the process of getting it ordered. When people say, Sandy, when should I start this? My answer to them is yesterday. So thank you, Maria, so much. Thank you for everyone who's been on tonight. And please, again, reach back to the person who brought you here and let them help you get started. And if you would like to have the recording of this, just reach out to me and I will get it to you. Maria, I look forward to the next time that we get a chat, and thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Have a great night, everyone.